This week was full of April Fools, but these news are no joke. Just like the Logitech PlayStation, that's perfect for co-op with your cat. If you wanted to test the limits of lab and heat safety of your smartphone, Monster Hunter Outlanders is a new contender that definitely looks like it will turn that phone into a stove. We were hesitant to talk about a mobile-only game first, but for one, it looks really good, and also it was designed around co-op hunts. Monster Hunter Outlanders brings you more of the familiar monster hunting gameplay in a large open world. Instead of starting each hunt from a quest hub, the world itself becomes the hunting ground. Monsters roam freely, ecosystems react to weather changes, and clashes between creatures can happen at any time. No more hubs and lobbies. This is like the cooler Monster Hunter Wilds. Your job is the familiar mix of hunting, harvesting, upgrading, and repeat. Up to 4 players can explore and hunt together in co-op, seamlessly roaming the same world. So far, so familiar. But exploration plays a bigger role this time. Traversal tools like paragliders, grappling ropes, and ziplines help you cross cliffs and valleys, while temporary structures like ballistas or cannons can turn the environment into part of the fight. Random events and mini-games are scattered across the world to make it more interesting. Weapons stick to the series' classic roster of greatsword, longsword, bows, and so on. You can create your own adventurer and master all weapons on them. But there are also preset characters that specialize in just one. Those have a name, a special look, and personality. Also, of course, Palicos are back. You can register for the second closed beta test now on the official website. This is developed by Teamy Studio, a mobile dev studio under Tencent Games, in collab with Capcom, and it is coming to iOS and Android. And just a heads up, the monetization model for this free-to-play title isn't set in stone yet, but the devs have said they wanted to avoid pay-to-win. Active Matter has a highly interesting approach we need to discuss. And no, it's not the genre, the game is an extraction shooter, silly. And if you're still here after we mentioned extraction shooter, thanks for not killing our AVD, and we promise you won't regret it. So the game takes place in a fractured multiverse with a mysterious substance called active matter that bends time and space. As an operative, you are sent into unstable zones to collect it, because highly dangerous always comes with highly valuable, apparently. Any takers for nuclear waste? No? Okay. Now, every mission happens inside a time loop. If you die, you wake up again at the start and try another run. But these runs take you to areas that are far from normal battlefields. With the multiverse structure, it's basically up to chance if you end up in a dark forest or right at the center of a metropolis. And then again, these places are far from what's outside your window. Gravity can suddenly flip, space folds into portals, and strange anomalies roam just about everywhere. In hindsight, we are kinda glad that those have nothing to do with what's outside. Successful extractions feed into a persistent base where you craft equipment, replicate gear with active matter from other timelines, and upgrade the hideout itself. You can go solo or in teams of up to 3 players, similar to Arc Raiders. But other players are also hunting the same resources, so every raid becomes a mix of PvE and PvP. The game is already playable, which brings us to its rather unusual release approach. Right now, it's available through the publisher's own Gaijin store, while still in early access. The idea is to let a smaller group of dedicated players try the work-in-progress version first, giving the developers focused feedback while there is still time to make meaningful changes. The broader launch on Steam and consoles is planned for 2026. This controlled rollout is meant to catch problems early and smooth out the rough edges. You know, the thing early access was originally supposed to be, before many people started treating these versions like finished products. While at the same time, almost every game began launching into early access in the first place. It also keeps the usual review bomb and refund routine at bay, a pastime that some corners of the internet seem oddly passionate about. And honestly, considering some of the recent releases we have been watching, that might be a wise decision. But what's your take? Let us know in the comments. Playing cool RPGs in co-op usually causes some problems for friends groups, like the need to pay for a dedicated server or someone missing out on quests and treasure chests and progress the second they can't be online for once. Yes, Enshrouded, we're looking at you. Well, in Wyldheart, this is a thing of the past and we're very excited about that. This is a tabletop-inspired co-op action RPG. But they made scheduling a game night for groups easy as pie. You can play as a group of 4 players in online co-op with seamless drop-in, drop-out. This means if Greg has to leave mid-campaign, you can continue as 3 players or invite someone new to the group. You could try to invite that wolf because that boss wipe was excellent. The progress is saved in a shared cloud, the whole adventure group has shared XP, and there is difficulty scaling, which means if someone can't make it to today's round, they can just continue with everyone else the next day. The game loop is built around shorter campaigns, designed to be finished over a few evenings. A typical run offers roughly 10 hours of story content, with another chunk of optional exploration and side activities scattered across the map. Rather than following a rigid quest log, information spreads through rumors, overheard conversations, or clues discovered while exploring villages and ruins. The game is set in an atmospheric fantasy world where we are not playing the chosen one, but rather an ordinary villager trying to survive. Character creation also leans into this humble beginnings fantasy as you choose from 19 different role-playing backgrounds. Like a baker, for example, perfectly equipped with a rolling pin and hopefully some sweet rolls in the pockets. Otherwise, this game is classless, so combat lets you switch freely between melee weapons, ranged attacks, spells, or throwables in fast action combat. There are different skill trees like adventuring, survival, or dungeoneering that let you focus on any aspect of the game that you enjoy most. Traveling happens on a tabletop overworld map with more than 100 locations, and entering any point of interest will put you into third-person view. It is coming to PC only in early access later, but you can wishlist the game on Steam or the Epic Store, or support them on their Kickstarter. A certain World War II faction gets a bit too creative with their experiments, and before you know it, a whole island is overrun by German zombies. Welcome to Mallorca. In Projekt Z, you play as part of a small group of survivors trying to uncover what really happened on that island. The structure mixes story missions with expedition runs, so after each successful chapter, you get to roam the newly discovered part of the island for supplies, side objectives, and blueprints. These blueprints are crucial throughout the whole game, as they are needed to build and customize weapons, gear, and more. Between missions, you return to the Hideout, a central base that can be expanded over time. From there, you can upgrade your characters, craft and customize weapons, or take on side missions. The game features 4 playable characters, each with their own abilities, skill trees, and distinct roles in co-op play. Up to 4 players can tackle the island together, online or across platforms via crossplay, since the game will launch for PC and consoles alike. And although the game is built on co-op, they just recently added a single-player mode, if you're brave enough to go alone. There is no confirmed release date yet, but we will keep you updated. And if you prefer American zombies over German zombies, worry not, because after a long period of silence, State of Decay 3 finally showed signs of life again this week. Their first closed alpha playtest has been announced to begin in May, with signups already open on their official playtest page. And if you want a chance to try it early, you can register through the official playtest page. You will need Discord to sign up and a little patience, as they were literally overrun yesterday. Something Discord didn't quite manage as smoothly as we handle zombie hordes. And just to set expectations, this will be a limited test focused on feedback, so not everyone will get in. State of Decay 3 continues the series' mix of open-world survival and community management. You guide a group of survivors after a zombie apocalypse, scavenging resources, building up a base, while trying to keep everyone alive. That last part is important because character death is permanent. Not much was teased yet, but the new entry aims to build on the predecessors with a larger and darker world, improved combat, and deeper base building systems. The biggest change, however, is multiplayer. Allegedly, the more limited co-op from the previous game, where mostly the host progresses and everyone else just tags along in a restrictive circle around them, is gone. State of Decay 3 introduces a fully shared world for up to 4 players. Everyone builds and develops the same community together, and progress persists for the whole group. And if you prefer going solo, that's still possible as well. The game is planned for Xbox and PC with crossplay, but a release date hasn't been confirmed yet. Petit Planet is heading into its next test phase later this month, and sign-ups for the closed beta called the Stardrift test are already open. It is scheduled for April 21st across PC, iOS, and, new this time, Android. Players can register through the official site and fill out a short survey for a chance to get in. This round expands the cozy life sim with new neighbors that you can invite to live on your planet. The Galactic Bazaar and Starsea Voyage have also been worked on, as well as other features based on player feedback. So if you have been curious about Hoyoverse's adorable side of space exploration, this is your chance to experience it firsthand. The Flashpoint update is now live for Arc Raiders. It brings a ton of new content, including the new enemy type Vaporizer, new weapons, a high-risk, high-reward map condition around massive probe-like arcs that draw unwanted attention when tinkered with, as well as a huge list of quality-of-life improvements. But the real highlight of this patch definitely is this change to matchmaking. Bringing custom loadouts now favors putting you into fresh servers. Blindspot, the free-to-play tactical shooter spin-off set in the PUBG universe, has already shut down their servers this week after a 3-day notice. It had only launched into early access 2 months ago and was struggling to draw players in, with an all-time peak of only little of 3,000 players after launch and mixed reviews. A new 4-player co-op PvE mode has been announced for PUBG Battlegrounds as part of their new 2026 roadmap, and it looks pretty neat. This is a roguelite looter-shooter mode where you defend against waves of alien monsters, either with friends or randoms. This is planned as a mostly standalone experience within PUBG as an alternative to the usual stressful Battle Royale matches. The revamped season system in The Elder Scrolls Online that we've talked about a while ago now finally went live on April 2nd. This Season 0, Dawn and Dusk, marks the start of a new era for the game with an updated player experience, a new Battle Pass-style reward track, and the first ever story-driven event zone called the Night Market, full of new stories, quests, and challenges. Anyone who owns the base game can join in the fun. And good news for everyone who loves Horde Survivor roguelite games, but only has one PC or console to play with a friend. Jotunnslayer is getting a free local couch co-op update for all platforms. It's coming April 9th. And if you want to support the devs even further, there is also a paid DLC that adds Conan the Barbarian as a hero alongside a new map, boss enemy, and godly blessing. But that's all for this week. We wish you a ton of fun in co-op with your favorite people or your feline partner, whoever you prefer, and we'll see you again in the next one.